Jai Hind everyone. Myself Rekha Baghel, Assistant Professor, CSC Department, Ajay Kumar Garg, Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Welcome to the lecture series on cloud computing. Subject code is KCS 713. In today's lecture, my topic is Introduction to Cloud Computing. In this lecture, I am going to discuss the basic definition of cloud computing. What are the different properties of cloud computing? The different applications or advantages of the cloud computing. So, cloud computing is a popular term that we are using in today's scenario. So, if we define the cloud computing can be defined by using these two terms, cloud and computing. So, when we discuss these two terms separately, then we can understand the meaning of cloud and computing. So, cloud computing, cloud basically refers to the space or the space where the some software or hardware resources are stored. And while computing is basically refers to the process used by the process of managing, communicating or processing the computing resources. So, this is the process of managing something, and cloud is a space where we can store or where we can save different hardware or software resources. So, when we combine these two terms, cloud computing means cloud computing is a process by which we can provide the availability of the different types of resources like software resources and hardware resources online. We can find these resources, we can use these resources through the internet. So, the basic definition of the cloud computing according to NIST is cloud computing can be defined as a new style of computing in which dynamically scalable and often virtualized resources are provided as a services over the internet. So, this cloud computing is basically provide us the facility to use various types of services for the development of the applications or test related applications in the IT enabled businesses. So, cloud computing can be used by in various scenarios, like we can access the cloud computing services through our mobile phones, and we can use these applications in our personal computers, notebook computers, and cloud computing services also consider databases, remote servers and tablets. These are the different applications that comes under the cloud network. Key cloud computing attributes. So, key cloud computing attributes means cloud computing provide the different types of advantages or facilities to the users. So, these main facilities or advantages, we are saying that these are the attributes. So, different key attributes are on-demand self-service, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity, measured service, resiliency and availability, flexibility and remote work. These are the important attributes of the cloud computing. So, first attribute of a cloud computing is on-demand self-service. On-demand self-service is the attribute which provides the facility to the user to use different services on their demand basis. This facility, this attribute provide the facility to the user that he can get the service without interacting with the service provider, without interacting with the service provider. So whenever any need arises with the user, he does not need to ask to the service provider to provide the particular service. He can directly log in its account or his account and get the required service. For example, we are using a storage, or we are using our data facility or internet facility in our phone. Whenever, suppose we have a 500 GB data limit, and when we exceed this limit, and we need further data, so we don't need to interact with the service provider to get the extended data. We just log in our accounts. We just log in our service provider's account, user account. We just log in user account at the cloud and update or purchase the new data. So on-demand self-service provide the provision of the computing services to use the services on demand basis. So cloud customers can access their cloud accounts through some web servers or web service portal to view their account history, how much data they have used. They can monitor their uses, and they can provision or deprovision the services. They can continue the services or they can discontinue their services on the reviewing their history. So this is the very important attribute of the cloud computing. Next attribute is broad network access. So broad network access, this attribute is provide the main advantage to the user that they can access the cloud services through different devices. Like they can access the cloud service using their own laptop, or they can use the cloud service using their tablet, or they can use the cloud service using the different mobile devices. Okay, so we can say that cloud computing provide the broad network access to the user. The user can use these different types of different modes of access to the cloud. So user can access, or user can use the cloud in two modes, using public mode, public cloud, or private cloud. So a public cloud uses user can use the cloud in two modes. First is public cloud, and second one is private cloud. Whenever we say the user is using public cloud, it means the user uses the internet for accessing the public cloud. If user is using the private cloud, it means user uses a local area network or LAN for accessing this private cloud. So, here latency and bandwidth both plays a major role in cloud computing and broad network access. What is latency? We can define the latency as it is the delay between the user or client request and response provided by the cloud service provider, response by the service provider. So, latency is the delay between the user request done by the user and the response provided by the service provider. So, the low latency is beneficial for the cloud computing. Bandwidth basically represent the how fast is the internet is. If the speed of the internet is fast, then the services will be served by the service provider in the fast mode or speedily. Next is resource pooling. Resource pooling is whenever the clouds are serving these requests of the various users, it might be possible there that many customers want to share the same resource at the same time. For sharing the same resource to the multiple users, we are using the multi-tenant model. Multi-tenant model is used to assign and reassign the physical and virtual resources to the different customers on demand basis. Okay, suppose if a user 1 want the resource R1 and user 2 also need the resource R. Okay, so for allocating the resources to the users, we can use this multi-tenant model. For after some time, the needs of user 1 have fulfilled. After some time, the needs of user 1 have fulfilled and he want to leave or relieve this resource R, then multi-tenant model will deallocate this resource to the user. So, this multi-tenancy allows customers to share the same applications or infrastructure while maintaining privacy and security. As we know that security is the inbuilt feature provided by the cloud computing. So, customer next advantage of resource pooling is some customer would not know the exact location of their resources, but they may be able to specify the location at a higher level of abstraction such as country, state and center. Okay, and memory, processing and bandwidth are among the resources that customers can pool. So, these are the different types of resources: memory, processing and bandwidth that the various customer can pool in their account. Rapid elasticity. Rapid elasticity means the customer, we in cloud computing, we consider that there are limitless resources. There are limitless resources that can be shared. So rapid elasticity means the customer can scale their demand using the elasticity provisioned and released cloud services, sometimes automatically. There is no constraint that if any customer have assigned some resources, then he cannot relieve the resources. So here in cloud computing, there is a rapid elasticity, means user can get the resources on their need basis, or they can scale as much as resources they need. So provisioning capabilities are nearly limitless. Customers can use these features anytime in any number. So users can use any resource in any quantity without contracting, or customer can scale cloud use, capacity and cost. Rapid elasticity eliminates the requirements for computer hardware, instead use the cloud providers computer resources. So elasticity eliminates the need for purchasing the personal hardware or personal software for using them. They can just purchase, or they can just rent the just purchase the particular software for some time, or they can just pay the some nominal amount to the cloud service providers for using the particular software. Measured service. So basically it is necessary for optimizing the cloud computing resource utilization to find the uses of the resources. So metering optimizes the cloud resource utilization at a service specific abstraction level. Measured can be used for storage, processing and bandwidth and users. So we are interested to find the optimized cloud resource utilization for storage, these resources like storage, processing and bandwidth. So pay for what you use models rely clients payments on consumption. So as I already say that the customer need to pay for what they are using. The amount they are using the cloud resources, they just need to pay, rather than purchasing the resources, they just pay for the need basis. So payments, they just pay the payments on consumption, monitoring, managing and reporting resource utilization, make service providers and consumer transparent. Resiliency and availability. So resiliency is a term that is used to find the ability of a service to recover quickly from any disruption. If any disruption occur, how fast the cloud service recovers from that situation is known as the resilience. While cloud resilience is measured by the it can be calculated by how fast the servers, databases and network restart and recover after the damage. So to prevent the data loss, cloud services create a copy of the stored data. For continuous availability of the resources, these cloud services make a copy or save a copy of the stored data, so that the disruption cannot affect the users. If one server loses his data for any reason, the copy version from the other server restores. So, this is the availability. Availability is a major factor of the cloud computing. So, availability of the resources are make sure by the services provider. The benefit of cloud services is that they can access, user can access them uh, from remotely, so that no geographical restriction when using cloud resources. So, same geographical location is a major limitation of the distributed computing. So, this limitation is resolved by the cloud computing. So, the users can use their cloud resources or resources available on the cloud from any locations in the world through remotely using the internet. So, these are the attributes of the cloud networking. Scalability: the cloud network must scale to the overall level of the throughput required to ensure that it does not become bottleneck. Low latency means the delay between the customer request and the and the response provided by the user must be low. Guaranteed performance: the cloud network must provide unpredictable performance to the service. Many simultaneous applications in the network, including video, voice and web traffic, and extensible measurement, real-time upgrade and image patch management in a large cloud network is a challenge to the network and administrator. Self-healing resilience. Uh, Self-healing resilience: the cloud is able to recover from any damage, and this requires a network architecture that offers self-healing and ability for transparent in service. The software upgrade. So, one more important attribute of the cloud computing is there is no need to upgrade or update the software through the user. So, the softwares and hardwares that are reside at the cloud computing, at the cloud side, they are automatically updated. There is no need intervention from the user. So, main attributes of the cloud networking that I have already discussed is scalable, low latency, guaranteed delivery, extensible management, self-healing resilience. So, these are the few attributes of the cloud networking. So, now I hope all the concepts that I have discussed today is clear to you, and we will discuss the another topic in next lecture. So, thank you.